Welcome to HB Reddit Stories. Today we will see stories of r/am I the a-hole. Am I the a-hole? I offended my sisters while explaining why I didn't want children. I, 28F, have 4 siblings, one of them being disabled. The other 3 have kids. This post is about A, 35F, and B, 32F. A have 4 kids, 17F, 15M, 14M, 9F. The younger 3 have severe physical and mental disabilities. B have 3, 12M, 7M, 2F. The oldest and middle have the same disabilities as my older sister's children, and the younger have Down syndrome. They are both SOM. All the children are in the disability programs my country offers, but there is not much money left, after all the medical bills of therapy and meds they need. Their husbands have okay jobs, but with the severity of the children's disabilities it is hard to go by. On the other hand, I am single, child-free by choice, went to university, totally debt-free, have a master's, and work from home in my dream field. Last month I bought my first house. I invited my family and friends for a housewarming this Saturday. I paid for 2 caretakers to care for their children so they could come. Everything was fine and fun. Until the end of the night, my friends had already gone home, and it was the 3 of us. They started to talk about me settling down, marrying, and having kids, since I bought a house. I remembered that I didn't want kids. This talk circulated several times. Until they asked me why FOI the 10th time. I told them, besides really not wanting to have a child, I love my freedom, I love the life that I already have. Thinking about our family DNA, that is a high chance of having a disabled child, that means more work and sacrificing. I don't want to sacrifice myself. I want to have money for hobbies, to take care of myself, for expensive clothes and hairdressers, to travel, to live and not just survive. I love them, they're great moms, but I don't want to make the sacrifices to be the same. I would be an awful and spiteful mom, and no one deserves that. From everything I said, the only thing they listened to was about not wanting a disabled child. They went on a spiral about how much of a blessing their kids are, how I am an egotistical bad woman, and so much more. They blocked me on social media, and aren't answering me in the family group chat. My mom called to give me a speech about how my disabled brother, 36M, was a blessing in her life, how he is a gift from God, and uninvited me from Christmas because my sisters won't come if I come. I called my brother, 39, his 2 children are adopted. He admitted a long time ago this was due to the high chance of disability in our family. He told me my delivery is rude, but they also suck, they should know not everyone wants kids. He encouraged me to apologize because I know how they are. Top comments. Not the a-hole. I'm disabled myself. Honestly, it sounds more like your sisters want you to make the same decision in order to validate their decisions, which is a very human thing but not really fair to you. You aren't them. They might love having kids and want more, and that is valid regardless of what anyone else does or does not want. Also, they are possibly taking out their own struggles with resenting the difficulties on you. No matter how much of a blessing children are, even people who wanted them and who had able-bodied kids have moments when they just plain regret having them. It would be much healthier if people admitted and processed this. Not wanting kids is a valid choice, not wanting them because there is a high risk of disability, which means inevitable struggles, plus could be incredibly unfair to the child, is also valid. A lot of people fuss about how not wanting a disabled child is a bliss without addressing that the chief reason is we live in an ableist society that begrudges even basic rights for disabled children and adults. Your sisters need to process their own internal worlds and reconcile the fact that not everyone wants what they want, their decisions are valid regardless of other people, that it's okay to not always be happy about the outcomes of decisions we made. That they can love their kids and still be mad that it's such a struggle and so difficult sometimes. Not the a-hole. Honestly, I worked with special needs kids for over a decade. And there is a massive difference between a child born with a disability as a surprise and deciding to bring a child that you know will suffer into the world if there's family history. Not all disability is the same. Not all of them can have a quality of life. Some absolutely suffer until they pass. And knowingly doing that to your child for your own desires is selfish as F. You have the awareness to know you're not cut out for it. Good for you. Because not everyone is. They willingly decided to live that life and you willingly decided against it. That's your right. Not the a-hole. And especially not the a-hole for recognizing that the probability of you having disabled kids is high and that you're not the person to that. People fail to realize that you sacrifice a lot already having children, and while some people are okay with that, some aren't. You aren't wrong at all. Most people have kids without even considering their genetic markers, which I think is really cruel. Also, if they're upset, then that's their problem. You might have delivered wrong, but it sounds like they heard that they wanted to, so I personally wouldn't apologize. Next story. Am I the a-hole for canceling my wife's birthday party after she called my sister a leech? My wife's birthday party was supposed to be this Friday. I actually wanted her present to be a surprise this year. It is not uncommon that my wife will open an Amazon package thinking it was something else, ruining the present surprise. My sister and her do not have the best relationship, and it is due to different values. They basically disagree on everything, but the big thing that my wife hates is that my sister has asked for money or help. We have a shared account and keep separate money. I will lend my sister cash, but I haven't had to do that in a while. I lend her from my account, not the shared account. She also pays me back. So I sent my wife's present to my sister's house and was going to pick them up Thursday. I got a text from my sister saying she got the packages, and my wife saw the text. She made a comment about giving handouts again. She basically told me enough was enough and that I need to stop sending her crap. She called my sister a leech that can't get her crap together, this resulting in argument, and I told her that she was holding her birthday present, but I am returning them. I am also canceling the dinner party. Another big argument, and I did cancel the plan and asked my sister to return the packages. My wife is pissed at me and called me a jerk, and I told her that this is her own fault. Top comments. Everyone sucks here. You are treating your wife like a child who needs to be punished because she said something that you didn't like. You are conflating two different issues, the tension between those two, and her birthday. You should have acted like an adult, and had a calm discussion where you expressed your feelings about wife's comments. Instead, you are being high-handed and patronizing. Wife and sisters, to a lesser extent, bad behavior is obvious. Wife should have left the matter between you and sister. Sister should get her act together. If you are lending or giving money to the detriment of your household, you'd be an idiot. However, in this case you have a shared account which funds the household, so there is no impact. It's interesting that your wife opens packages that are sent to you. I'd guess that if you opened her packages she'd be livid. Double standards. It suggests she has no boundaries and doesn't want you to have, not secrets, exactly, but things for yourself. It smacks of a controlling nature. You're not the a-hole for canceling, but you would be if you don't sit her down and set boundaries. OP replies. Lending money doesn't affect me or the household at all. The biggest expense was around $2,000 so her cat could have emergency surgery. She did pay that back. I truly don't understand what her problem with me pending money that doesn't affect us at all. Not to mention me lending money has helped her get her life together. She just finished her nursing course and works at a hospital now. Next story. Am I the a-hole because I will not watch anything more complicated than a Hallmark movie with my wife? I love my wife. She is intelligent and sweet. Also, she is beautiful inside and out. She teaches high school English and social studies. She loves novels and usually has several on the go. However, she cannot follow the plot of a movie to save her life. Unless it is about a big city lawyer visiting her hometown to shut down the local factory, but instead reconnecting with her high school boyfriend who is also the local baker and mayor. I've known this about her for years and I have accepted it. I just like vegging with her, so I am happy to see white people rediscovering the magic of Christmas. Or whatever. When we were dating we watched The Matrix. The questions she asked had me wondering about her. Ditto for anything complex. Even The Usual Suspects, where they lay everything out for you, she didn't get the ending. We had her sister and brother-in-law over for a couple's night on Friday. We made supper and the plan was to watch a movie. His sister wanted to watch Shutter Island. I will not spoil it, but the movie has many twists. The ending is awesome. I tried my best to suggest anything else. The new Laura Dern movie where she bangs the kid from Hunger Games. They all ganged up on me and said we were watching Shutter Island. My wife proceeded to embarrass herself by not understanding the ending and asking questions that were not great. Her sister and her husband were looking at my wife like she was simple Jack. I tried my best to cover for her or telling her I would explain it later. She got mad at me for not just answering her questions. After they left, she started in me. She said that she noticed that we always watched a certain kind of movie and that she thought I enjoyed them. I said I did because we got to spend time together and that made me happy. She said that she was not an idiot and that she just didn't concentrate on movies. She recited the plots of several novels to prove her point. I said that I had never commented on her intelligence and that Ahe was smarter than me. She says that I'm a jerk for not watching movies I enjoy with her. So I agreed and we watched Memento today. I think her head almost exploded from bot asking questions. I saw her on Wikipedia reading the plot. Am I the a-hole for intentionally not watching complicated movies with my wife? Top comments. No a-hole here. I can understand why you picked movies you could both enjoy, and I can see why she might be a bit miffed at the miscommunication. Having said that, maybe she's already found the solution to the problem. You both watch the complex movie together, and then she reads the plot summary so she can process the information in a way that makes sense to her. Then she doesn't have to ask questions, and you can both enjoy movies together. Depending on how her brain works, she might even enjoy reading the plot summary first, and then watching it with you. She might be able to enjoy the movie even more. It'd be like when you watch a movie about a book you read, but this time everything is accurate because the book is the plot summary. Have you tried turning on the captions? She might process information by reading, so that could help her. Also, if you always watch with them on, maybe that's what's distracting her. I know I miss some scenes because I'm busy reading, I have to rewind it a bit. Info: did she embarrass herself or were you embarrassed on her behalf? By which I mean, was she upset by not understanding the movie, or just by the way you were reacting? How sure are you that the negative vibe you got from her sister was about her asking dumb questions and not her sister being concerned about you trying to shut her down? Like, there's no way she and her sister haven't watched movies together before, right? Her habit of wanting movie plots explained while watching them cannot possibly have been news. It's fine and normal to not prefer to try to answer questions while you're trying to enjoy a movie, but in my opinion you should try to separate the issue of what you need in order to enjoy a movie from the question of whether simpler movies are also to her benefit. If she enjoys watching complicated movies so long as she has someone to talk through them with, that's a different problem from her not wanting to watch them because it's stressful to try to follow but feeling obliged for other people's enjoyment. Not sure how to vote, but leaning towards you are the a-hole. While it does sound annoying for you, the way you talk about your wife is kinda condescending. It's like you think that because she has trouble following one specific type of movie, cerebral plus plot twisty, that she can only handle crappy chick flicks, and you're embarrassed for her by that. You also basically talk down to her in front of her sister and brother-in-law. Are you even so sure they really thought she was so stupid? Or that they were that bothered by her not getting the twist? What I really don't get is this: why is the only alternative to movies with plot twists designed to mess with your head Hallmark movies? Like, there are plenty of other genres out there. Pick something better than Hallmark but with not so many plot twists. It can't be that hard. Or, as someone else suggested, if you have to pick something with a big reveal at the end, let her read the plot summary on IMDb either before or after the movie so she can process it better. You are the a-hole. There are so many good movies out there. But all of your examples are from the 2% of movies that are deliberately confusing or known for their plot twists. If you look at IMDb's best movies of all time, while I strongly disagree with the list, I'm sure she'd be fine the large majority of movies there. It comes across like you're searching hard for some way to put her down. You're embarrassed by her because she didn't get the plot twists of Shutter Island? She likes to watch movies, it's an activity you do with friends, but she's only capable of movies that are famously stupid. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving before dinner because my mom didn't cook anything my wife can eat? I recently got married with my long-term fiancé. She and my mom never really gotten along. I always hoped things would get better after the marriage. My mom invited us over for dinner, which was supposed to be our first meal as a married couple at her house. Now, my wife is a vegan. She was a vegetarian before but switched to vegan a couple months ago. My mom knows she's a vegan. Despite that, my mom didn't prepare a single vegan dish for her. Except a soggy-looking salad. Even the veggie soup, she added chicken broth to it, to make it tastier. The rest was all non-vegan stuff like mac and cheese, fried chicken, jambalaya, and banana pudding for dessert, all things my wife can't eat. I told my mom we were going to leave before dinner since there was nothing for Olga, my wife, to eat. My mom said she could just pick the shrimp out of the jambalaya and eat the salad. I told her that's not how it works. Then she started insisting the veggie soup was fine. I pointed out that it wasn't vegan because of the chicken broth, which according to my mom was crap. She then asked Olga if can't she just eat normally for one day. My wife said no, but she doesn't mind just having the salad, but I knew she was just trying to save the day and was fed up with how my mom was treating her, so I thanked my mom and told her we were leaving. My mom freaked out. She blamed us with being disrespectful. She said she spent hours cooking all that food for me. I told her that's the issue, she should have thought about Olga too. My mom said I was exaggerating because it's not like she's allergic or anything. Am I the a-hole? Top comments. Not the a-hole. As a 10+ years mostly plant-based and having difficult family, I can tell you this. 1. Accept the fact that your mom will never respect your wife and her choices. Yes, it's bad and sad, but there is nothing you can do. 2. Then you can choose to ignore her, go minimal in contact. Or 3. Try to have somewhat normal relationship. That includes bringing food every time you come. Usually weird vegan stuff gets eaten first at family dinners, lol. When dealing with difficult family members, I usually bring a main dish, 2 to 3 portions, 1 for me and 1 to 2 to share with everybody as a snack, and a dessert, big one, for everybody. Then I just ignore all the snarky comments about me being inconvenient. That's the only way that allows me to see some family members 2 to 3 times a year. I can't change their view on plant-based diet. They can't make me eat meat. Not the a-hole. My mom freaked out. She blamed us with being disrespectful. She said she spent hours cooking all that food for me. I told her that's the issue, she should have thought about Olga too. My mom said I was exaggerating because it's not like she's allergic or anything. For your mom to not have cooked a single thing that Olga could eat is a massive power play. She then asked Olga if can't she just eat normally for one day. Time to go very LC or no contact with your mom until she decides to treat your wife with respect. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel HB Reddit Stories.